So there's no intro music or video games tonight. I just started the episode because I forgot the Elgato. So we're not having any sort of gaming in the background for the third episode in a row. But alas, next week I will try and remember it. And I think we're on. Are we on? I hope we're on. Yes, we are. Okay,
if they want to see gameplay, they can watch you and your Doom on Twitch.
Yeah.
Or that. There you go.
Yeah, I've been playing Doom lately and then a bunch of other video games. So welcome everybody to our 50th.
Dun, 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 dun.
50th episode of Sports Goofs with my good buddies Andrew and Charles. And I'm back in Florida. I am back in the great sunshine state of Florida, home to Florida man. And California, you're all right. You're all right. I already expounded the virtues of your metro system in LA. Anyways, topics tonight. We're going to be talking about the Super Bowl because it was actually a good one. I thoroughly enjoyed this Super Bowl, and we were the host of the Super Bowl down here in Miami. So I didn't get a chance to look at any Super Bowl festivities.
Neither did I.
I didn't have a chance to, unfortunately. I got back here. But it happened here, and so we could see the stuff that was happening and all that jazz. We'll also talk about the insanity surrounding the Super Bowl itself, from the ads, the halftime show, the aftermath. And we'll also talk about, we'll see if we get to some baseball talk. I doubt it, but spring training starts this month, so here we go for that. NBA talk, as we're moving on from the Kobe Bryant tragedy, as games are still happening and things are happening as well, and we'll talk about how much of a fraud the 76ers are.
Frauds.
And the NHL, we have to get into the Battle of Alberta because it has finally reignited after like years dormant. It's like those, what is that bug? That bug that kind of like lays dormant for like 20 years and then pops out, and there's like a swarm of them. Maybe cicadas. I don't know.
Cicadas.
Yeah, basically, that's basically what just happened. That is basically what just happened. Well, we do have brand new neighbors here, and I think it's like a music studio or something like that next door, and they are working late tonight, so we might have some interference with that, and we don't have any sound panels, because if we did, that wouldn't be a problem, but whatevs. It shouldn't be that bad. At least it's working. And, yeah, so I guess we'll just dive into it. Guys, Super Bowl. What was the first thing that stood out to any of you guys? So you want to start?
I'll start, I guess. It was an okay Super Bowl at first. It was good to see how the Chiefs kind of came out and stopped the 49ers initially. And then, you kind of saw, okay, the 49ers, here they go. They're stopping the Chiefs. They're starting to score. And it was just kind of, I know you never say never, but when you're 3rd and 15 with 7 minutes left in the fourth quarter, down 10 on, I don't know where they were. They were way inside their own territory. The Chiefs were. You kind of got the sense that maybe this was not their day. But then something happened. I read this article that something clicked when Mahomes got this like first down a couple of plays earlier. So on 3rd and 15, they go ahead and call this insane play that they had been setting up the entire game. There was a whole article just on that play, and it worked to perfection. It was a 44-yard pass to, I think it was Watkins.
Tyreek Hill.
I think Sammy Watkins was the one that got it.
Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
So Hill got it, and it was just kind of off to the races from there. And really, from that point on, it became a very exciting game because it was Mahomes went into overdrive. He was Saint Patrick, as Mr. Charles here called him. And it just became a heck of a lot of fun to watch from there. It was probably for that last seven or so, last half of the last quarter was probably one of my favorite Super Bowls. But taken as a whole, this is okay. But that last bit made up for all of the blehness. There was nothing really overly exciting about the rest of the game, if that makes any sense.
I think we unfortunately I can't hear Charles right now, but maybe you can pop in, pop back out again, or pop out, pop back in again. But I think, look, I mean, I seen the game from the beginning until I had to leave to get out of the way of Super Bowl traffic. I think trying to get back home. I think it was a fantastic game for the most part. I especially enjoyed the other narrative, and I hear Charles back now. Of the fact that once again the Chiefs come back from being down, and the San Francisco 49ers and poor Kyle Shanahan. I mean, if you guys don't know, what was he? Was he the defensive coordinator? Offensive coordinator. Well, then he was the offensive coordinator of the Atlanta Falcons in the infamous 28-3 Super Bowl lead that the Falcons had over the New England Patriots, and then subsequently squandered and choked away their game. And here he is again with a 10-point lead over the Chiefs at the beginning of the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl. And I don't know if you guys remember that interception that the 49ers had, the second one, towards I think the end of the third quarter.
The one where Tyreek Hill missed it?
Yeah, and then the 49ers' entire defensive unit went out into the end zone and took a group photo. Now, you know, why would you try and tempt the football gods in the biggest of all games? Like they're celebrating, and then there's what they did, which is basically they brought on their entire defensive unit that was there and some other guys that were on the sidelines that came all the way to the end zone and took a group photo together. It's as if they caught a great white shark and they didn't realize that the shark was still alive, and the shark got loose from its hook and just destroyed the boat and is about to eat you up. That is basically what happened to the San Francisco 49ers from that moment on. And you know the Chiefs saw that. You know Patrick Mahomes and the rest of the offensive unit saw that and was like, when we get the ball back, we're going to do exactly what we did to the Titans before this and what we did to the Houston Texans before this, to that team over there. I don't care how good their defense is. We're about to show them why our offense is basically a powder keg. And they did. They absolutely did. So, look, I would have liked to see the 49ers with the 6-1 just so the Patriots fans can't be like, well, we have the most in NFL history. Well, the 49ers tempted the football gods, and their sacrifice was just. Their sacrifice was just in losing that game. And that's my perspective of the game. I like it when teams that tempt the gods of their sports and then get their comeuppance afterwards. So, yes, the 49ers deserved what they got at the end of that game. So that's my initial thoughts of the game itself. All right, Charles, go ahead.
So, Francisco, I'll start with this by posing a question, and I'm going to pose it to you because I already know the answer from Andrew. Did you ever watch Dragon Ball Z?
No, I was not a Dragon Ball Z fan. I'm not that much of a weeb. I am not that much of a weeb.
So, this analogy that I was going to go to, well, I'm going to use it anyway.
I know some of the main characters. I know Frieza's the big baddie and stuff like that.
And that's fine, but I'm going to get to the point of it the best I can. And for anybody who listens, I hope they get excited. Andy Reid is Goku, right, for now. Patrick Mahomes, the Saint Patty, is Gohan. Gohan, you knew there was some potential. You knew it was there. You knew it just needed to be unlocked. You knew he was a bad mamma jamma, but there was other guys that were coming into it. Throughout the entire series, it's Goku. Goku's doing everything. He's beating certain guys, but then he loses a lot in Dragon Ball Z, and then they get into a certain villain named Cell. Well, to kind of spoiler it out, Gohan untaps his unleashed potential, hits this new Super Saiyan level called Super Saiyan 2, where he becomes a god, basically, unlike Dragon Ball Super, which tries to tell you what a god is. But at the very end, the beam struggle, where they're shooting energy, Gohan's one-armed because, he took damage to save Vegeta. We'll talk about who Vegeta is later on in life, not right now. And then Goku, having maybe died, I won't say it, because spoilers-wise, but he's talking to Gohan telepathically, encouraging Gohan to do it. I can't do it. You're better than me. You can do it. It's really like Andy Reid saying, hey, you're better than any quarterback I ever had. You're a saint. Mm-hmm. You're the best. You're better than McNabb. You're better than Vic. You're better than Kevin Cobb. You're better than me. And then there's like Patrick Mahomes down by 10 points, shooting all his energy out there. And he's like, I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat this bad guy. And over there's Kyle Shanahan struggling SL and everybody who embodies Cell, so it's the 49ers. But I'm perfect. I won. And then they lose. And that's what it felt like. It felt like a great anime battle. It was not the greatest Super Bowl I've ever witnessed. Right. I think that either sticks down to the Steelers and Cardinals a la, 2008, 2009, or the Patriots and, surprisingly, the Falcons, because as much as we hate to say it, I kind of love seeing New England come back and beat the Falcons because you never expect anybody to come back from 25 points. But my initial impression is that I remember the late Denny Green for the Cardinals going and says they are who we thought they were. And his post-game speech against the Chicago Bears that year when they were dominant, I think they went to the Super Bowl that year. Mm-hmm. That's kind of I felt like how Kyle Shanahan did it there. And that's what I just thought about it. And that final 6-minute meltdown of a team is Kyle Shanahan just sitting there thinking they are who we thought they were. And if you listen to his post,
that's why they took the damn field.
And that's why they took the damn field. That's why you listen to like their post-match conferences that, Cell's sitting there is like, I got him, but then Gohan's going to beat him. And that's the mindset of Shanahan. It's like, oh, God, they got Patrick Mahomes. Let's not run on 2nd and 5. Let's not run on 3rd and 5. Let's give him 6 minutes instead, possibly 3 minutes and 30 seconds if you do the math. You're up by 10. You need to play defense. And I think what I take away from this initial game is this. Great for the Chiefs, great for Andy Reid. I thought he was a Hall of Famer even without the Super Bowl appearance, because if I'm looking at the totality of your resume is I took 2 different teams into the Super Bowl. I made great quarterbacks out of people and I made certain running backs and stars. So for me, Andy Reid was there. I take away initially as this is the game of who we going to use as a scapegoat. Are we going to use Kyle Shanahan or are we going to use Jimmy G? And we'll never know because it depends on who you like more.
Yeah.
And you know what was weird? It was uncomfortable because if you remember the game, there was John Lynch kind of micromanaging a little bit in the press box because before the end of the first half, you saw him mouthing as if he was screaming to Shanahan, call a timeout, call a timeout. They never used any of the timeouts to end the first half. And that, you have those timeouts. You just want to put your foot on the throat and be cutthroat and be ruthless because you want to win. And it's a mismanagement of those timeouts because you have the Kittle pass interference. But if you use those timeouts, you have more time to draw plays. But then you look at Andy Reid. Andy Reid played like a man without a country, meaning he's not bound by any law because who goes for it on 4th down 2 times in the first quarter? Andy Reid did. Because he had that sweet little red walrus, Kool-Aid man in a elderly state, wanted it more, and he played better. And then you got Kyle Shanahan,
who played conservative.
Who he's gonna be.
Yeah, he did play
conservative. I don't even.
I think, I think 28. Well, possibly dumb, and I think conservative. And that 28-3, that's still in the back of his mind. It is. you know that's still in the back of his mind, and that affected him, because that was part of the narrative leading up to it in the media too. Like, oh, he was there for that debacle. Will he avoid the mistakes of who was the Falcons coach at the time?
Dan Quinn.
Yeah, there we go. Will he avoid the same mistakes? And kind of, sorta, it's not to that extreme level though, because the Chiefs, I mean, after the generous gift that the Miami Dolphins gave them in beating the Patriots that final week, and getting them that bye week in the playoffs, it seemed like they were destined. And also, the other gift, once again, Ryan Tannehill and the Titans defeating the Patriots and getting them out of the way.
You're welcome, America.
Once that happened, the Chiefs basically set their sights like, oh, our biggest obstacle is God. Now, like, they basically went for it, even though they had some hiccups along the way, especially against the Texans. But man, oh man, they snap back into it and realize what the grand goal is. Like, this is our chance. We can't mess this up. And basically like Eminem and 8 Mile, the same thing. You want to get one shots, don't miss your chance to blow it.
Now let me add something here. You had mentioned that it was destiny for the Chiefs to win. Let me tack on to that a little bit. So this Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday, was the grand ultimate palindrome day of our lifetime. It was the first time in 900 some years that a date was the same forward and backward in all three types of date formats, which is month, date, year, date, month, year, and then year, month, date, which is the ISO format. So you've got 0202 2020, you've got 0202 2020, and you have 2020 0202.
However you want to put it in any part of the world, that's how it's going to be.
Right. But wait, there's more. It was also the 33rd day of the year. There were 333 days remaining in the year because it's a leap year. So there are 366 days in the year. It was the 33rd day. So
I feel like the mark of the beast is going to come up soon.
But wait, there's more. There's more. And here is why. Here is why the Kansas City Chiefs were destined to win this thing. It was in the stars. Guess what Super Bowl 54, what number victory that was for Andy Reid?
222.
That was his 222nd win on 2-2-20, all twos. Any way you put it.
It is his second Super Bowl appearance, too.
It is their second Super Bowl appearance, his second Super Bowl appearance. It is the ultimate palindrome day. It won't happen again for another, I think, 100-some years.
When Bill Belichick will have his 666th win, and the depths of hell will consume the earth.
Exactly. And
the spirit of Bill Walsh comes in. And
when cyber Bill Belichick.
Exactly. It'll be like Futurama, where he has like the little floating head.
The robot devil will come for us.
So, ultimate palindrome day, not just the date, but the number of days into the year, the number of days remaining in the year, the number of Super Bowls that the Chiefs had been to, the number of Super Bowls that Andy Reid had been to. It was his 222nd win. Not only is that a palindrome, that is the same 222 of the palindrome day. This was destined to happen. As you said, it was in the book of Revelations, Charles. This was destined to happen. This was... I don't believe in coincidences, or I believe in coincidences. I feel like there's some sort of answer to anything. But even I can't explain that. That is just absolute ridiculousness. How much, hey BU, how are you doing? Tom Brady will still somehow be quarterback, also as a floating head.
Yeah, he was about to announce his retirement, and we just found out it was a Hulu commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
As Pat McAfee said, I've been listening to a lot of him recently since I started my new job. Listening to stuff helps me concentrate. He had mentioned that what Brady has been doing has been absolute masterclass in how to drum up attention, how to drum up whatever you want to call it. So, going back to my main point, though, this was destined to happen, and we were witness to an basically impossible occurrence.
Indeed. Oh gosh. All right. Let's see. For my team, the former Dolphins that were on the Kansas City Chiefs include former starting quarterback Chad Henne, former backup quarterback Matt Moore, and former a guy who could have arguably been the MVP, Damian Williams. So once again, the Dolphins weep once more, and Adam Gase is a horrendous head coach who should not have a job in the NFL, as we all know, and as the Jets fans have come to realize. But the Jets are gonna Jets their way through all of life. Anyways, so that's a little thing from me. Anything more that stands out from you guys from the game itself?
Yes. And this is my thought process on this. A good officiated game. I mean, there was a debatable, one offsides, and also
the offensive pass interference.
The offensive pass interference, and which I can kind of get, but also aside from
I thought it was a good call. It was a good call. I mean, you look back at the replay, there was a push off. I mean, real time, you can say, nah, maybe you could say it's borderline, but there was nothing that you could point to. There's nothing that Saints fans can point to and be like, well, we have to change the rules now. You know, there was nothing like that.
In fairness,
but
though,
that's an excuse all the time.
Although, in fairness, though, that play last year was an absolute egregious.
I know, but Saints fans have now benefited from it and have also not benefited from the rule change at the same. Like, okay, but anyway, that's a whole other thing. Yes.
And then the expired play clock at the 4th and 10 by Jimmy G. Besides from that, it was, surprisingly well officiated game. And here's the thing. I don't think anybody really knows what a catch is. I don't think anybody knows what encroachment is. I don't even think anybody knows what really pass interference is, right? But when it comes to criticizing officials, we're all experts at it. Mm-hmm. So it's rare, especially in a big time game, there's something more big time than the Super Bowl, I would venture in any kind of professional sports outside of maybe an Olympic game or even the FIFA World Cup, but we all don't like soccer that much. But to have this kind of officiating be surprisingly agreeable, positive reception is a nice benefit, considering the fact that there's a certain team, Louisiana, that always complains about officiating playoffs, and there's a lot of times I'm like, yeah, I see it. But that was on the field, because the rest of the game, I think Andrew talked about it, was a little ho-hum. It was 3 of the 4 quarters was good to great. The third quarter was kind of a drag because you felt like the cat was in the bag, but it was still better than last year's horrific game where you had one vastly overrated third-year quarterback or second-year quarterback in Jared Goff, and then one very already going down the hill Tom Brady, but we're going to worship him because he's the Hulu guy now. I always thought he would be a Netflix guy, you guys. I don't know why. Because
he has all the services, but
Yeah.
Now let me.
Yeah, but he just did it for the Disney Plus subscription. That's why.
That's true. Non-sponsor is the Disney Plus, Hulu, ESPN Plus bundle starting at $12.99.
Hey, it's a good deal. I don't have it.
It is a fantastic deal because I think Disney Plus by itself is $12.99.
Well, I'm trying to avoid sucking too much on the Disney teats because I think a lot of people are worshiping Disney a little too much, and I fear for the future when our Disney overlords take over and the future of entertainment. But there was some stupid article that somebody said that Disney would buy the Pokemon franchise. Like, that's not happening. Nintendo's not letting go of the most profitable intellectual property in the entire world right now. But once again, that's a whole tangent. Sorry.
Speaking of Disney overlords, fun fact: back in the '60s, when Walt Disney was doing his Florida project to bring Walt Disney World to
Lake Buena Vista,
5 minutes from my old hometown of Celebration, in order to entice them in, the Florida legislature basically gave them carte blanche on whatever the hell they wanted to do. One of which, believe it or not, and is still in place to this day.
Charles, that game is Disney Infinity, by the way. And that failed. So yeah,
badly.
Right. So Disney is run by something called Reedy Creek. It's basically
their local government. Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. Disney basically has its own local government, and it can do whatever the hell it wants in that area. It has its own fire department. It's blah 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 blah. I could go on forever. But Disney, thanks to the Florida legislature, if they wanted to, could build their own nuclear reactor, and they'd be totally fine.
Wow.
What?
So again, Disney freaking overlords here, my friends.
Yeah. There's a wonderful YouTube channel. I forgot the name of it, but if you look for it, he actually explains a lot of the history of the Disney parks and their underlying infrastructure and government, stuff like that. Okay. Okay. Stuff outside of the Super Bowl game itself. Halftime show. Yay or nay? I say yay.
I say yay.
Whatever. You're meant to. You guys, it was a trip back to 2002, and I'm always a fan of nostalgia, so I say yay. As I'm singing Shakira in the background, everybody's wondering what the hell's wrong with me.
Now, let me say this, though. You know, I was texting with you guys in our group chat while the Super Bowl was going on, and as I have a propensity to do, I kind of had a change of heart because I thought it was a bit risque, which, okay, it's Miami, but then it got me thinking.
That's just a normal afternoon on Univision, so I don't know what you're talking about.
But
such prudes in this country, dear Lord, Puritans.
But it got me thinking. Last year's Super Bowl with Adam Levine, he had his shirt off for like half the show.
Yeah, and everybody made fun of his stupid California tattoo.
That was a ridiculous tattoo, but I'm not going to go there. But I think we can all agree that was a ridiculous tattoo. But I digress. Sorry, Adam. Used to love your music. Feel free to come on the show anytime.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll even call it the Sports Goofs sponsored by Maroon 5. I didn't watch, but I didn't have to know that the PT. Yeah. So anyway, well, their music used to not be bland and generic. Their first album, Songs of Jane, masterpiece. I loved it. Maybe that's some of the nostalgia talking because my sisters listen to it all the time, and that was basically the soundtrack of some of my formative years. But I digress. People have made a good point that there's sort of a double standard between people who are like, oh my God, Adam Levine shirtless. Ah! The whole Janet Jackson thing. Which I guess is not a good comparison because there was a ton of outrage on that one. But kind of the double standard between, Adam Levine being very raunchy, literally without his shirt, Plus, it was an accident. Wardrobe malfunction. But people are somehow offended by this, which double standards are as American as apple pie and extra large, supersized meals. So I'm not going to go any further because now we're going to start diving into politics, and that is not the point of this show. Yeah. But anyway, yay on the halftime show.
Yay for me. Bad Bunny and I forgot who else, the other dude that was there. They kind of like, I don't know.
They were not necessary.
No, they were completely not necessary. In fact, they were completely expendable.
Yes.
And really, I mean, some people were like, oh, they were there. I fully expected Pitbull to be there. I was very surprised that did not happen.
Right.
Because he's usually everywhere.
Mr. 305.
So, yeah,
Mr. Worldwide.
I expected that. There was a Ja Rule little sound bite in there as well. And I was like, wait, did Ja Rule come out? Did they let him through security? You know? Because, DJ Khaled, surprised that didn't happen. You know, or any sort of Miami history. I know they're not gonna have Uncle Luke or anything like that on there. They're not. But yeah, they killed it. I thought they killed it. They had all of the makings of a great show. They could sing. Shakira went deep down into her heritage with her singing as well. I mean, she's part Lebanese. If you guys do not know, she's Lebanese and Colombian. So there are some. I'm pretty darn sure there are very. I don't know if people that don't get out much and meet other human beings of other ethnicities that were very surprised and or disturbed by what she did, but. You know what? If you go back in the history, there are articles about it as to why it was very important for people. She put on a great show, but J-Lo, dear Lord, she is 50 years old, by the way. She is 50 years old, and she still got it. Dear Lord. She was on top of a giant syringe she came out on a giant syringe to support her husband, Alex Rodriguez, who was in the crowd watching her. She had her daughter there as well as one of the children that were singing as well. And there was just a segment of that show where they are just straight up dancing. Like there's no vocals, it's just straight up music and dancing. And I'm pretty damn sure Adam Levine could not do that.
No.
He would be completely winded. I mean, he was winded last year when he did it.
Yeah.
He was sweating all over the place.
I mean,
that was the most rain California ever got. But yeah, they had, it was the total package. They could sing. It was visually impressive. The fireworks, the dancers, everything like that. And they could dance. And afterwards, there were some tweets of they were high-fiving each other like, oh, holy crap, we actually put on this freaking show. It was amazing. So freaking A+ on this one.
I mean, I will say this. And
I'm not just saying that because I'm Hispanic. I'm not. I'm not, okay? Unless you guys love California tattoos.
No.
Okay, there we go.
So, I mean, at least in my lifetime of viewing or remembering halftime shows, I won't say that this was the best that I've ever seen, because that is reserved for the King, Prince. That was if there was such thing as perfection.
That one was also in Miami.
That was also in Miami. If there was such thing as perfection in a Super Bowl halftime show, that would be it. Case in point. Apparently there was a quote that it was going to start raining during the halftime show. And apparently, if I remember correctly, it had been raining off and on that whole day. And someone told him, do you want to not do this or something, whatever? And he said, make it rain harder. I'm kind of paraphrasing here. You're putting it on? Oh, no.
What?
I was looking at anyway. But
by the way, our YouTube feed just got shut down because we showed a clip of the freaking halftime show right now. Now, even without the sound. I mean, come on, YouTube. Come on, NFL.
Don't they know who we are?
Come on, Pepsi.
Wow, it got shut.
Yeah. Well, whatever. We're still on the other 13 platforms that we're on. So, whatever.
Screw you. Screw you, YouTube.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying that about YouTube lately. So, yeah.
Anyway, I mean, there was literal purple rain in his finale, which was purple rain. I mean, it wasn't literally purple, but it was purple spotlights with rain. Like I said, if there was such thing as perfection for a halftime show, that was it. That being said, this was very good. It was one of my favorites, probably. It was definitely up there, but nothing is ever going to. That's where I saw it. BU. I was feeling nostalgic, I guess. I was looking at Prince stories, and they had posted that a few years ago. The NFL did, so yeah, that's where I saw it. I was like, damn, that's something. Speaking of, divine intervention or coincidences, what have you, related to the Super Bowl, that's another one. But anyway, I don't know, Charles. I've been hogging up a lot of time in this episode for some reason. What say you?
Well, since YouTube took us down, I'm going to say what I got to say. People got some problem with a little adobo in their life. And let me tell you something, guys. When I lived on my own in Miami and I didn't know how to cook, but put some hair on my chest, what was my rite of passage, as I guess as Francisco can agree with me, as a Hispanic, was get a little bit of adobo on my chicken or my steak, because we're just trying to add a little flavor, because flavor is good. Because who wants just bland shows, the most bland generic thing you have? Who wants the equivalent of an Adam Levine for dinner? I don't. I think some of the women would, but don't worry, I'm going to petition to get Genuine to be next year's halftime show so we have balance. If you got a problem with risque, you forget that it is the NFL Super Bowl halftime entertainment show special. It's you could just change the channel. You don't like it? Change the channel. But I'm okay with adding a little adobo, a little spice in my life, even though I'm not a big proponent of J-Lo. I'm not. And Shakira, But you know what, though? They did well. They worked hard. Did they come with a political message? I don't know. You tell me. All I know is they were just two women in a little sporting event that played all their hits, even music that I knew of. And I'm not like a big proponent of like J-Lo. The only thing that I kind of missed that Shakira had was La Tortura. Yeah, you see, I rolled my R's. There you go. Spanish class 101, baby. I did it. Miami, I'm back for you. 305 to my back. What's up? That being said, I got a little adobo in me right now. Aside from that, they hit all their things. They had Jenny from the blog, and everybody bangs to that, man. Waiting for tonight, I bang to that too. Like, I don't care. Like, what is it that you hate? Is it the fact that you don't like the women? Do you feel the fact that because there was, I'll say it, Latin people? I won't talk about that. Do you hate the fact that it's just not your type of music to go to because you don't really hear Shakira and J-Lo a lot, 95.5 or all that other stuff, but you're used to hearing every repetitive cookie cutter Hallmark Adam Levine song, or even Lady Gaga, who I thought did a damn good job.
Not enough Brad Paisley and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, whatever that the crying cowboy stuff about things they would actually never do, because chances are they don't probably mourn for the woman they lost. They just go and find a new one. I don't know. Who am I to do that? But in a sense of entertainment, one is thoroughly entertained. There's a lot of stuff going on during the halftime show. You already kind of knew what you were getting at when it was announced that it was Shakira and J-Lo months and months ago. You could have already had that determination. Be like, well, I don't want to watch that. And you could just change up, put on CMT and watch, I'm not typing a class here. I'm just saying what I've heard from complaints in the thing called social media, the most toxic environment known to mankind. Twitter, Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, by the way. Charles LaTrue, Dan Frijoles, FJOJR. Did I finally say it? And Sports Goofs.
Got it.
But you see, I rolled my R's. I went Hispanic, and then we played credence to Prince, and I got the Twitter names right. But it's for entertainment purposes, it was fine. And I will venture this: sometimes a good halftime show puts the extra mustard on a good Super Bowl, and I think it helped out. It kept the momentum because I will say this: my one problem with the halftime show it felt a little bit long, gentlemen. And, you know, when you have that kind of fatigue comes in, I just have Adam Levine's nipples kind of like poking me in the eye like an episode of Rick and Morty,
Oh, my God.
I'm not going to want to continue. And look what happened. Look, I'm just saying, like, you know, causation, that whole theory that they have, correlation equals causation, Adam Levine's nipples led to probably the most boring Super Bowl since the Broncos and Seattle, when Seattle won like 40-7. And I don't even remember who was the halftime that year. I might do that on my own research, but I'm just saying. But yet, you know, Shakira and J-Lo with the HGH syringe and then singing She-Wolf in the background. I think She-Wolf, let's be honest here, I think it was the power of She-Wolf that allowed Patrick Mahomes to let it out so she can breathe and then win. And then what happens, Kyle Shanahan was so used to Brad Paisley, or, you know, let's call Cameo Candy. Great song. You should listen to it. If I had to sponsor a song, I'd sponsor it right now. But maybe that's the kind of your genre that you like. And, you know, Kyle Shanahan is listening to the Cameo in his cod piece, and he's like, oh, no, this isn't my kind of music. And then just out. I don't know. I'm just speculating. But at the end of the day, off of my tangent, I liked it.
Okay. All right. Okay, so I didn't really watch much of the ads because I was with my nephew and my niece and playing around. And
Well,
stuff.
we're gonna go to this. Okay.
Okay, so but I'm sure you guys. Oh, first off, what the hell? Okay, first off, I want to go with the mark. Actually, hold on. This is a great segment. Segue into Gottlieb's goons, because my goon are the whatever marketing department of all of these companies or these ad agencies. Because you listen, guys, like, I get it. It's 2020. We're in a modern era. I get it. All right. You guys are just trying way too hard to be memes. You guys are trying way too hard to create a meme. Just way too freaking hard. Okay. You got, like, these are the same people that decided the Emoji movie was a good idea, that are putting out these ads. We have Baby Nut. We have Baby Nut as a thing because Baby Yoda was a little thing a few months ago with The Mandalorian. So they decided, hey, let's make a baby version of Mr. Peanut.
Well, let me counter with that one.
Okay.
Because Mandalorian only came out in what, December?
Yes. Yeah.
I highly doubt that a company could come around.
Wait, when did The Mandalorian come out? It did not come out in December. Yeah, there's no way. There was quick enough a turnaround to
It
produce.
was a launch for Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
But not just to produce it, but also to buy the space. So
Planners probably had the space already. Maybe they just didn't have the commercial yet. I mean, I'm just saying. I know your counterpoint. I'm making the other counterpoint. Planners got the money and the speed in which to create the space. So I'm saying that, like, you can get ad space pretty quickly in this day and age. Even here locally, you can get ad space pretty quickly if you pay enough. So I'm just saying, you guys are trying way too hard. Memes, you can't force a meme. If you look at the fantastic YouTube channel, Internet Historian, his second channel, Incognito Mode, which is also hilarious, by the way. He has a series of videos. Actually, he has one video. It's called "Can You Force a Meme?" in which he and another YouTube buddy of his try to create a meme and see if they can get it trending. And they kind of sort of do it, but it fizzles out after a night. So it doesn't even go enough to become viral worldwide. So it's really hard to do that. Really, the best memes are the ones that come out organically. It really is. And they're just trying way too hard to do it. Hashtag baby nut, hashtag, I don't know. They try to create their own hashtags, beforehand to try and capitalize and stuff, and it's just like you guys are pandering too much to us Zoomers, millennials, whatever you want to call us. Yeah, it's way too hard. You guys are goons. You guys are my goons
I
for
know
this week.
People were hammering on the baby nut hashtag. Among the criticism or among the responses was phrasing from Archer, because it could be a little bit. It could be taken in a double entendre sort of way. Now let me say this though. I found it interesting how many crossover ads there were this year. There was a whole Procter and Gamble commercial with Isaiah Mustafa, aka the Old Spice guy. I think Mr. Clean was in there. It was like anything and everything Procter and Gamble was in one commercial.
Tied with Charlie Day. He was in 40 commercials.
And then also you've got would you wear Baby Nut merch? Nah, not really. Or speaking of Baby Nut, Mr. Clean and the Kool-Aid Man were in the Planters commercial. So you had a lot of these there was Bud Light.
That was a callback to Food Fight. If you guys know the infamous story of that movie.
I do not.
Oh. Go on YouTube and type Food Fight.
Okay.
Charlie Sheen is the star of the movie. That's all you need to know.
I'm gonna do that. There was another one. It was Bud Light and whatever. There were a lot of cross promotional ads, which I thought was interesting. Now let me say this though. Speaking of all of this, I can pinpoint when all of this began, when ad companies started to become, shooting for the memes, and it was with the debut ad of the Old Spice guy, I'm on a horse. That just blew everyone's socks off, and that was at least. It was close to, if not 10 years ago, that ad debuted. Which it was just so out of left field, so unanticipated. It spawned a whole series of ads, which are still popular and beloved to this day. It was 10 years ago. Damn, I'm old. I think if they tried to seize on the success of these new companies, and started to try and go more and more ridiculous, which was at first okay, but now it's starting to just devolve into a complete mess, which is what you're seeing today now. But I still love the Old Spice commercials. Those were great, and I'm glad to see that Isaiah Mustafa is back. Was a long time in coming.
Senor Charles.
So we're all on the agreement that baby nut is slang for ejaculation, right? I just got to put out there. All right, we're back in. Just say it's a sheltered world. People didn't know about adobo spice. I have to put it out there.
Yeah.
It was, when I look at Super Bowl TV ads, it's always the Doritos one that I look forward to. And I will say this, Little Nas X, I think is his name. Old Town Road was my favorite song of 2019 because it's just it's a banger and it's catchy and it's generic, but it's not bland. So what it is A1 steak sauce. You can choose to use it or not. Especially since I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm 63% of the way in. So of course I'm on that cowboy mode. I just want to be a cowboy, even though I don't want to be a field hand. And then I love me some Sam Elliott, and his dancing mustache was a nice appeal to it. The movie trailers, I don't even understand why movie trailers needed to be in the big game when they're on YouTube, and all you get is the small little snippets, and then you can just watch the whole thing, like Black Widow and Fast and Furious 9, which now has, John Cena. I can't believe you see him because they say you can't see him, but I guess he came back to the role. Wrestling inside joke, haha, I laugh at myself. I kind of wanted to punch Charlie Day because he was like in everything, and I felt kind of sad that Danny DeVito didn't come in just to kind of give us the whole "It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia" round. But I agree with the both of you. Aside from the baby nut was ridiculous, just because as someone who did watch Mr. Planter's Peanut die by saving Wesley Snipes, which is the most noble death one can accumulate, I would venture it, because you're dying for somebody who evaded tax payments. So it's forgiving one's sins for different things, and then just to use Kool-Aid. So here's a question now: if I drink Kool-Aid, does that mean I can I just like, that's what happened, right? Kool-Aid Man cried, then came peanuts, and I'm gonna say it right now: are you guys not insulted that baby peanut, whatever the hell it wants to call it, didn't come out and say, "Oh yeah," because technically the nourishment of Kool-Aid helped him? And is that even saying that maybe Kool-Aid is nutritional for you? This Super Bowl season for the ads left me very confused. Either that or I'm just a very dumb man, and I'm not surprised if it's not that choice either. But in all seriousness, the commercials were fine. They weren't egregiously in your face like some of the other ones were. I still don't understand, putting in movie trailers that are not even trailers, but like a second. The only time it was acceptable was Avengers Endgame because we're all waiting for Infinity War, dang it. And they gave us just a minute, and that was fine because it got me super hyped. But everything else is like in between, and I'm trying to think of what other one made me fascinated besides the Doritos, but they usually deliver. And
yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, there was one. Why did Pop-Tarts need a commercial? You're Pop-Tarts. I was once too a poor college boy. I know I'm going to buy you. I'm going to go to Walmart and see pretzel flavor. I don't need you to waste advertised money. I'm naturally curious on this idea. Just how Dunkin' Donuts is going to do a hot sauce flavored donut. Things like this excite me to destroy my taste buds and my intestines. Pop-Tarts, you could have saved your money. You're going to have all the kids in the 305 and in Tally and all this from the beginning of Florida to the end of Florida trying out your pretzel-based Pop-Tarts. We're lining up right now. I want to know when's coming in right now. I haven't been this excited since the KFC Cheetos chicken sandwich. But I digress. Use your money economically. That's all I'll say.
Of course, you have the wholesome commercials. You have the one with the dog for the University of Wisconsin's Veterinary School,
which was awesome.
Do you know the story behind it?
Yeah. I mean, I might be a little bit rusty, but basically, this guy, his dog was given like no chance to live because of cancer. And University of Wisconsin's veterinary program saved the dog. So he took out this $6 million ad to thank them and to solicit donations for the UW veterinary program. And I think it's fitting that they have a good veterinary program considering that their mascot is the badger.
Yeah, that's basically it, and it's very wholesome for anybody that has a dog. Obviously, the Puppy Bowl was on simultaneously with the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the results were of that, but
the results were but in a good way.
Okay,
not but aw.
And then you had Google's commercial with the man trying to remember his wife, his deceased wife. So that's a tearjerker as well. And I'm just scrolling through all of these commercials here. Porsche commercial, Fast and Furious.
Smart Park. What did you guys feel about that?
That one, I enjoyed that one. I would like to get BU's take on it. The Smart Park commercial. The Smart Park commercial. Yeah.
We couldn't hire one single person that was actually a Boston native. Instead, we give you John Krasinski, Chris Evans, and Rachel Dratch.
Yeah, exactly. That was great. I enjoyed that one. Rick and Morty had one with Pringles.
It was so weird.
Oh my god.
It felt like an episode of Rick and Morty. Though,
yeah, exactly. But man, dear Lord, have they gone mainstream? Dear Lord. Have they gone mainstream?
Yeah, no comments.
Yeah. By the way, the Bean Pot tournament's going on.
Oh, is it on right now?
Well, no, I mean it's gonna happen. Like
Yeah, when
But
that
it's
starts,
that time of year. It's that time of year.
BU, when that starts, we're gonna have to bring you on to do a Beanpot segment. Women's is okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just do men's semis were last night. Wow. So we're right in the middle of the Beanpot. BU, do you want to give us your analysis of the Beanpot so far?
Yeah, you can put it on the side here. I'm just going through all of these. The Alexa one with Ellen DeGeneres and Portia de Rossi. All the past Alexas in time. That was pretty funny. I like that one too. Once again, here's another one of my goons, TurboTax, with the TikTok thing. Like, they're trying way too hard. They're just trying way too hard to become a meme. And let's see, keep going. Little Caesars with Rainn Wilson. That was on there. Dash Lane, blah, blah, blah. Squarespace. Rocket Mortgage. The Tide Pods, once again, with Charlie Day and all the cross promotions. The NFL one with the kid running across.
That was awesome.
That was a pretty awesome one. It pretty much tied in all of the teams and in the history of the NFL. So that wasn't too. That was a pretty good one. Gosh, I'm just running by these. They had the hummus commercial. Yeah, the Sabra hummus thing. Outside. Oh dear Lord! Outside of they have some issues with regards to the whole Middle East controversial things that are happening over there, political, social, geopolitical stuff that goes on there. So there's a segment of people that dislike what they do as a company, and so some people don't buy their products. If they're going to buy hummus, they buy any hummus other than them. You can search that on your own outside of that. Okay, just look it up. Just look up Sabra. I had to look it up because I just saw stuff on Twitter about it, and now I know why. Anyways, how I must. What the hell is that? Nobody is going to say that. Nobody's going to say, this is how I must. Nobody says that. I've never seen a human being actually talk about how they consume hummus. They just have hummus. I love hummus. I just eat hummus. Black bean hummus, by the way, at Publix. Fantastic hummus. Just way too hard to be a meme. Way too hard. Goons. They're all goons. Anyways, sorry. Ric Flair had a sighting, by the way. So, yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
Charles.
BT Dubs, man. Fox is really pushing WWE, huh?
Got to make
Hey,
money on
Charles.
Friday. Yes, buddy.
Hey, we're back. Sorry. I don't know what happened with my computer. It sucks. And it lost all connections. And everything else in this office didn't lose connection. So, just another episode of Sports Goofs, everyone. Just another one of those. Yeah. Charles, are you there? Can I hear you?
Well, anyway, while we're waiting for him to come back.
Okay, yeah. He popped out. We're getting to the halfway point.
Wait a minute, my I still cannot hear this.
Well, I can hear you. Your mic levels are up.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, so BU was giving us,
And that's Charles. He's back, baby.
BU was giving us the rundown of the Beanpot semifinals for the men's. Northeastern took fewer penalties than Harvard, and I assume they advanced to the final. And he sent us a tweet to the outcome of the BU-BC game, and man, that was interesting. BU was down by 2 goals. Then there was a slashing penalty by BC. The Terriers, Boston University Terriers, came back to tie it, and they eventually won in overtime. So they're on to the finals to face Northeastern, and we shall see. Let me look at the Beanpot history. 2 OT. Wow.
Woof. Wow. Okay, we're at
It's
that.
actually going to be an all dog final because Northeastern are the Huskies.
Tis true. We're getting around to the halfway point, guys. So, y'all know what that means, right? It is a word from our non-sponsors. This is when we talk about the people, places, things, concepts, what have you that you are most thankful for, most enjoying over the past week. And I'd gone first the last few times, so who wants to go first this week?
I'll let Charles go.
Yeah, it's been a bit, so I will go into this one. And yeah, guys, I had a real hard time kind of thinking, trying to keep it PG-13 on my non-sponsor of the week, because I am a man, and Super Bowl, it always comes in with certain things that happen, how you set up your party. Do you get snacks? What kind of food did you get? Do you make yourself a little bit of the bubbly? And I went over to my buddy Houdini's, and I was like, all right, I was also late in giving him his Christmas gift, so this kind of helped out both. But I'm going to say it now, and I really hope this doesn't open up a can of worms coming in here. But I think in the aggregate, the last couple of days, my non-sponsor week is Wild Turkey, because me and my buddy had a little bit of a Pepsi and Wild Turkey, and it was a nice, relaxing kind of way to enjoy the Super Bowl with some Ale House food. So I'll keep a little PG-13 with it. I mean, it depends on how you like your bourbon. I've been pretty good in keeping it clean and healthy because I'm trying to make it to 32, 33 maybe if I'm lucky. So can't put out a lot of bad stuff. But every now and then, man, you get a stressful week at work. You want to hang out with your boys. You want to see Kyle Shanahan choke on his aspirations. You got to enjoy yourself a little bit. It's a little bit sweeter than some of the other bourbons, American made. They also make Long Branch. Nathan McIntyre talks it about a lot. And,
we can't even enter the website without being 18, without being 21. They're okay, fine,
yeah.
Fine.
Because we encourage you to drink responsibly, of course. Anyone of the age of 21 and over. But I've been pretty good with it. I like bourbon. I like whiskey. I can never really do vodka. But, I would say that, Wild Turkey, bourbon, whiskey, I don't have at the house. But when I'm going to go out or something like that, maybe I'll get a few of that. Maybe I'll get some Maker's Mark. But this was the highlight of the week, something that kept me nice and smooth and relaxed and enjoying, Kyle Shanahan just choking on his aspirations. So, Wild Turkey, it was Wild Turkey 101, which is a little bit higher grade. But promo code Choker.
Okay. My non-sponsor. Just give me a second here, guys. I'm trying to find the freaking thing to reset this browser here. There it is. Okay, everybody. So, and I already told the story to Andrew over this weekend. So I came back from Los Angeles, and I came back from Los Angeles, and I came back home. And I know we're all scared about this coronavirus thing. It's spreading, a bunch of jazz. I sat next to a sick fellow on the airplane. I get back home. I'm perfectly fine. I decide, you know what? I had some stuff in the fridge. I'm like, okay, some old stuff from the past week. I'm like, okay, there's some sausages in here. I eat the sausages. And the next day, I am feeling like I am dying. Absolute crap. I cannot get out of bed. I have no energy. I had to unleash my intestines very vigorously over the course of hours since dawn till mid-afternoon when my dad came over to help me with the brand new goof's nest here. And he could see that I was deathly ill. I call my sister, who is a doctor, and she makes me describe my symptoms. And she's like, yeah, that's your stomach. What did you eat? And I'm like, I had some sausages. Yeah, that's your stomach. That's not any sort of virus of the corona kind. Go get yourself what will be my non-sponsor, Imodium AD. So, Imodium AD helped me control my bowel symptoms, And lo and behold, I emptied out whatever I had to empty out from my body. I soon enough was able to at least rest enough from my ailments. I passed whatever the sausages were, and by the next day, I was finally okay. My appetite did not return, but I was okay enough that I didn't feel like that I was dying and sweating profusely and in utter pain and with zero energy. So I like to thank the good folks at, who the heck makes Imodium AD? Johnson & Johnson for Imodium AD. It really helped. Thank you very much.
I'm so tempted to go with one that I've done before, because they helped out, but I guess I won't. Which puts me in kind of a bind. Fuck it. Costco. I'm going back to Costco for a different reason. Legit though. So last week.
Oh, I forgot the promo code for Imodium, Charles. That's right. Gosh darn it. Corona and sausages.
Okay, so a couple of weeks ago, it was last week, my glasses broke. I showed Francisco, they broke on the bridge of the nose. It cracked in half, split in half, whatever you want to call it. I'm rocking the Harry Potter right now, the Harry Potter look right now with the tape holding the nose together. Although instead of just regular masking tape for him, I've got that duct tape going right now. Broken bridge is the worst. Exactly. Alter bridge, though, is the best. You think you know me? I'm not sure you do. Anyway.
Hit the music.
So I went to Costco, of which I am a member, a longtime member. And I was expecting, okay, so I'm going to go get my eye exam. I haven't had my eye exam in a few years now. And I was like, okay, so the whole thing, I'm going to get sunglasses as well because the transitions are utterly useless because they don't work in the car when you need it most. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to get regular glasses. I'm going to get the sunglasses. I'm going to get the eye exam as well. This thing's probably going to come out to like $700-800 because that was what it came out to the last time that I got glasses. No, less than $400 for the eye exam, the glasses, and the sunglasses. Unfriggin' believable. Amazing deal. I seriously recommend going to Costco. Their memberships are dirt cheap. They have like a $50 membership deal right now. And if it's not right now, it'll be in like 2 seconds because they do it all the time. I'm pretty sure college students get an even better deal. You can buy things in bulk. I know in the past, Costco had a 20-pound bucket of macaroni and cheese. So for all you doomsdayers out there that want to pack up and make sure that nothing's going to happen, that's the place for you. If you want real good hot dogs, that's the place for you. Costco is the best. Costco, Sam's, BJ's, all really good. I love warehouse places like that. I'm a member at Sam's and Costco. Used to have BJ's membership when I lived nearby one. So Costco, thank you for your supremely low prices on glasses. That was amazing. Thank you very much. Promo code no broken bridge no more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alrighty. That was fun. That was for yeah. Yeah. Wild Turkey, Imodium AD, and Costco. Fantastic. Kirkland signature, baby. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wanted to get to hockey because I'm really excited to talk about this today.
Let's do it.
Okay, so guys. Charles, you're about to learn today.
I have my notepad and pen ready, guys.
The Battle of Alberta has
since this is a Learn a Goof segment of sorts, I want him to guess who are the Battle of Alberta teams.
Indeed.
We want the city and the name.
Edmonton.
Ooh, yay.
That's one.
All right. And I just want to say Winnipeg Jets, but I know I'm wrong on that.
No,
Ottawa Senators.
They're Manitoba.
That's Manitoba.
They're on Ontario's Ottawa.
All right.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
listen,
have four more
those,
teams to guess.
We know I'm ignorant to the concept of geography because I live in my own world. This is painful. This is like hearing the teacher scratching on a blackboard because,
okay.
Let's see. It's definitely not going to be the Pittsburgh Penguins, right? So
no, I think they're still in America, but yeah.
Granted, I get a pass if it's a relocated team from the past. That's a different team now.
Well, they did.
They actually are a relocated team from the past.
Yeah, because I know the NHL does a lot of that. So, I get a C- on this.
Okay, well, we'll give them the second one. It's the Calgary Flames.
God damn it, I knew it.
And
I tried to give you a hint by saying you're getting warmer.
Okay, so the battle.
If you guys saw me right now, I was like, when I wasn't speaking, I was phonetically like speaking with my mouth closed.
All the Canadian cities, Vancouver,
Saskatchewan, Regina.
Those weird Newfies. Anyways. So, Battle of Alberta, yes, between the Edmonton Oilers and the Calgary Flames has reemerged after years of dormancy and has given us the greatest of all gifts in hockey combat, a goalie fight.
And not just a goalie fight, a line brawl, an honest-to-God true line brawl.
Oh, yes. Oh, dear Lord. Yes.
So when we say line brawl, it means all players on that line beating the hell out of each other, correct?
All six.
Indeed.
Well, usually a line brawl is just the 5 position players because the goalies rarely go at it. So that's technically a line brawl, but a true line brawl. I'm doing the Paka meme from Emperor's New Groove, with like the just right. A true honest-to-God line brawl is when all 12 guys on the ice are duking it out. You don't see them much anymore. Their heyday was in the 70s and 80s. They really cracked down on it recently, especially as they've been cracking down on fighting in general. But when you've got a line brawl, it is a sight to behold.
It's 8-player smash. It basically is. It is. Oh dear Lord! It is. I mean, it was a gift. It was truly a gift. So, all right. So we have to take this back into the history of this. We have to go back to when the founding of both Edmonton and Calgary, way back when. Like these cities have always been rivals. They have always been rivals since their founding, since their colonization. They have always been just disparate rivals with each other, from their politics all the way to their sports. It is Edmonton versus Calgary. Edmonton is the capital of Alberta. Calgary is the most populous city in the province. And they both came to the NHL around the same time. So 1979 was when the WHA, the World Hockey Association, merged with the NHL. Basically the same thing like with the NFL and the American playoff system back in the 80s, and now they've retroactively done it again with this playoff structure, in which it kind of a good game between two teams. They instead decided to. This game happened at 10 o'clock a long time ago, but they very much are one of the worst teams in the leagues this year. The Lightning are a good squad, and they deserve to be on national TV a lot more than they have. They've been screwed over because of that. But the NHL has their favorites: the Detroit Red Wings, the New York Rangers, the Boston Bruins, the Chicago Blackhawks, the Los Angeles Kings, the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Washington Capitals. And lately, the Vegas Golden Knights, because they're the new hot thing for a lot of people. They really suck at promoting themselves. They really suck at promoting their players. The NBA and the NFL do it way better than anybody else. The NBA, if they have a good team, even in a tiny market, if the NBA had the Tampa Bay Lightning, they would have the Lightning front and center pretty much as many weeks as they can put them. The Milwaukee Bucks right now, front and center, because of Giannis, because they're really good. That's how it should be. NHL, NBC, always putting on the same tired teams all of the time. It really sucks. It really sucks for the league. They really, once their deal, which will end, I think, this season, once the national deal ends, NBC, and I get that it's a simulcast with, I think, Sportsnet up there in Canada, BU, but look, the NBA will send NBA on TNT up to Toronto to broadcast the Raptors because the Raptors have been good the last few years. Major League Baseball will send Sunday Night Baseball up to the freaking Rogers Center in Toronto if the Blue Jays are doing awesome. NHL doesn't do that. NHL does not send their A team on NBC. NBC does not send their A team over to Canada to cover the Flames versus the Oilers. It's a shame. It's a real shame. And this is just stuff that's happening. But the Battle of Alberta is alive and well. And that's it. So that's your Learn a Goof hockey thing for today, Charles. That's what's going down. And I guess some other hockey stuff just to get that out of the way. NHL 3 stars for the past week. This week was first star was Leon Draisaitl, who is a member of the Edmonton Oilers. He is a center. He is probably going to win the Hart Memorial Trophy, which is the MVP award for the NHL. He will probably win the Art Ross if his pace keeps going like this, which is the NHL award for most points in a season. So, yeah, he had 2 goals, 6 assists for 8 points in 3 games. The Oilers went 2 victories in regulation and 1 overtime loss. And, yeah, or not regulation, but 2 victories. Steven Stamkos was the second star for the Tampa Bay Lightning. And JT Miller for the Vancouver Canucks. That's all I got for hockey. But yeah,
how is your respective teams doing?
Tampa's doing well.
Oh yeah,
Florida's doing well.
Yeah, the Panthers won yesterday against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and of course, the hockey world rejoices when the Leafs lose. The quote unquote center of the hockey universe. And yeah, I mean. I could harp on about the Panthers, but I don't want to because I will go off and off and off. But they're doing all right. They're playing right now against the Columbus Blue Jackets, and I have not seen the score. But I will be looking up that score crawl to see what it is. Other than that, yeah. Let's see. We are 126 in. Andrew, we have Fulmer Cup?
We do.
Is this the 2020 debut?
This would be the 2020 debut.
Oh, let's do it. We haven't seen this graphic in a while. It's nothing, by the way, between the Cats and the Jacks.
All right, so just as Charles does his cage disclaimer, here is my Fulmer Cup disclaimer. We are not the official podcast of the Fulmer Cup. Rather, I just provide updates. So for those who don't know, let's give a quick refresher. The Fulmer Cup is a quote-unquote competition held each offseason in college football, starting the second that the national championship ends, and it begins then and ends when foot touches football for the first kickoff of the college football season. which is I think in late August this year, I believe. But I digress. It has been a very very action-packed start to the season so far.
That's an extreme February 4th update that I just saw. Yikes. For University of Utah player.
I'll have to take a look at that one.
Yeah, that was an extreme one. I'm going to scroll past that one real quick, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's been this has been a particularly bad year.
Oh, dear Lord. What is this from Tennessee Tech? Former football. Oh, now he's a former one, right? Oh, gosh.
I've only been really paying attention to the Fulmer Cup this is my second year.
Yeah.
But this has been a particularly, quote-unquote, bad start. I'll just do the...
Going with the theme of 2020 so far.
I'll just go with the lesser ones. We've got ECU offensive lineman Cortez Heron was arrested on charges of possession of marijuana, which is a felony, and possession of marijuana paraphernalia, which is a misdemeanor. Let's see. Kansas cornerback Corione Harris was arrested on felony charges of weapons and drugs. And the other two I'm going to leave off air because those are pretty bad. With charged with felonies, he had a cache, a weapon, and marijuana in his car. Unlawful use of a weapon and delivery of a controlled substance. So, and the other two, I'm just going to leave off air, like I said, because they're pretty morose, pretty depressing. But it's off to a quick start, the 2020 Fulmer Cup season. This is a lot more active than it was last year. So we'll check in next week and see if there are any further updates.
So let's see. They haven't even updated the standings yet. So I'm sure that'll get going soon enough. But yeah.
Well, there are technically no standings because in order for a team to be eligible, they have to have two separate players.
Ah, okay.
It came out of an incident from I think 2006, if I remember correctly, maybe it's 2007, where one player beat every other team just by one incident. So the Fulmer Cup committee decided that they needed to amend things, so it wasn't. They have an individual award now for the player who
the most invaluable player.
Right. Most unvaluable?
Yeah, there you go. That's better.
Or I guess in a way it's the most valuable player since the player with the most points is the most valuable to his team.
That's true, and maybe he paid the most in fines.
So, but yeah, in order for a team to be eligible, they have to have two or more players who earn points. And right now, none of the teams have multiples. Oh, and I just want to say, this is only for Division I teams, so FBS and FCS. Tennessee Tech, I do not think, is a D1 school. So I don't know. It's early. We've got a few more months to go. Hopefully the crimes get a little bit less intense than the last two. So we'll see.
Hopefully we'll get some hilarious stuff going on.
Yeah. That's the fun stuff.
Around the summer, when spring happens and people can get out and party and get on a bunch of shenanigans going.
Exactly.
Okay. Alrighty. So that's our Fulmer Cup update. Let me get to some of the smaller stuff. I wanted to do. Let's see. Hold on. I want to do a fun one. Let's do a fun one. Where is this thing? Gosh darn it! All right. I'm trying to find the correct one here. Okay. So is this popping on? Okay. Players we remember to forget. So this is where we remember forgotten players, and I wanted to remember a guy named Pat Mahomes.
Wait for it.
Not Patrick Mahomes, Pat Mahomes. There is a distinct difference, although not that different. Pat Mahomes is father of Patrick Mahomes, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback, former NFL MVP of the Kansas City Chiefs.
Now, let me clarify, though. Patrick Mahomes, the Super Bowl MVP quarterback, is still a junior. The Pat Mahomes that we are speaking about tonight is actually Patrick Mahomes, but he's Patrick Mahomes Sr. Patrick Mahomes quarterback is, I don't think he goes by junior. He's Patrick Mahomes the second.
Right. He decided to go with his full first name just to distinguish himself from his father.
Exactly. Unlike Gardner Minshew.
Yeah.
who had the Roman numerals for no reason whatsoever.
So, Pat Mahomes. Well, Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Detroit Tigers.
That is true.
Back in 2014.
I actually saw somewhere that there have been 8 MLB teams that have drafted Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Right. Russell Wilson is also one of those.
He actually did spring training with the Yankees.
Yeah, and he might do it again this year, I think. So, yeah, he's been doing spring training just for the heck of it, which is, oh, man, that is fun, isn't it, huh?
Yeah,
if you could just do spring training just for the heck of it,
yeah,
no pressure to make the team.
I mean, like, I know.
He could go to the Baltimore Orioles. They'd actually put him on the team.
Yes, they would. Certainly, I know that what's his face, Kyler Murray could do it.
Right.
I would love to see another 2-sport player again.
It's gonna be really tough.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah. It'd have to be somebody in a position, like it'd have to be like a kicker / corner outfielder.
Hey, Pat McAfee, we're calling on you, my friend.
Oh boy. Okay, so Pat Mahomes played in Major League Baseball. He was a pitcher. He was drafted out of high school, drafted in 1988 in the 6th round. He played for a bunch of teams: Minnesota Twins, the Boston Red Sox, the New York Mets, the Texas Rangers, the Chicago Cubs, and ended his career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. He had a stint in Japan, I think, for a couple of seasons. He was not a significant player whatsoever. He went 42-39, 5 saves, 5.47 ERA for his career. That hurts when you just say it. In 308 games played, he played in one postseason in 1999 with the New York Mets, and in 2000 he did pitch for the Mets, but he was left off of their playoff roster in their World Series run, which ended with Charles's Yankees defeating the Mets. And yes, he is the father of Patrick Mahomes. So that is our player to remember to forget, Pat Mahomes. And I'm pretty darn sure he's having a good time with his son nowadays. So there you go. That's it. That's it for Senor Mahomes. Let's see. And I wanted to get to better know a minor league team. So we also highlight one of the millions of minor league teams that are out there across 3 sports at least, and heck, we might have to start covering the XFL soon enough.
Yes.
That's coming up this weekend, actually. So I wanted to cover the South Bay Lakers because I didn't get a chance to last week with the whole Kobe thing. I wanted to highlight them. South Bay Lakers, they were founded in 2006. They were originally known as the Los Angeles Defenders, which is a horrendous name for a team of any sort. They were supposed to be called the Los Angeles Breakers, but they were forced to change their name because that had already been like trademarked by a dwarf basketball team in the Los Angeles area. Just look it up; it's there. Anyways. They became the South Bay Lakers in 2017. They play their games out of El Segundo, California, at the UCLA Health Training Center, which is the home of the Los Angeles Lakers practice facility. So both teams train in the same facility, but the South Bay Lakers themselves play there. 750 seat capacity, the smallest venue in the NBA G League. And they used to play out there. They used to play at the previous facility, the Toyota Sports Center, which is the home of the Los Angeles Sparks now, and also the Los Angeles Kings practice facility. But all in El Segundo, California. So it's all in the same city. So they didn't move very far. Interesting thing about them, they have no championships. They have 2 Western Conference titles and 2 Pacific Division titles. Their head coach is Kobe Carl, who is the son of George Carl. And current players on the roster, they have Kostas Antetokounmpo, which is one of the brothers of Giannis Antetokounmpo. And they have David Stockton, who is the son of NBA Hall of Famer, former Utah Jazz, John Stockton. So just some notable guys that are on the team right now.
Nepotism for the win.
Yeah, basically. So that's the South Bay Lakers. I love their logo, BT Dubs. It's basically the Los Angeles Lakers logo, but with like a little bay on the bottom of it. Fantastic. Just plain and simple. I like it. That's it for that minor league team. How much time we got here? We're at 1:38. Charles, I want to talk some NBA.
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to go take a nap.
Yeah, go ahead, Andrew. Or you can learn. You can be a learning goof here on the side.
All right.
Oh, no. I wanted to do the real MVP. My real MVP is Aaron Boone.
Yep.
Do you know why, Andrew?
I think I do, but I think I forgot as well.
31-20, baby.
Oh, that's right. He predicted the score.
Yes, that is exactly why. And it, once again, confirms my fear that the baseball gods are going to exact revenge upon the league and the Astros' misgivings by having the Yankees win the World Series this year. Aaron bleeping Boone nailed the Super Bowl score. So, freaking, he put, for what it's worth, I'm going with the Chiefs, 31-20. There it is, right there at 6:03 p.m., 27 minutes before the game started.
Bravo, sir.
Freaking, Aaron Boone. There you go.
Aaron bleeping Boone.
I don't have anything more to say than that, man. Sheesh. Drop the mic.
He'll be the real MVP if he brings me a world championship or a MLB championship, World Series championship.
Just to let you guys know, Francisco literally dropped the mic.
I always wanted to do that.
He literally dropped his round microphone. His blue Yeti microphone.
Yes.
He just dropped it on a legal notepad.
Snowball my microphone. Okay. All right. So that's it for that. All right, Charles. Sorry. NBA talk. So we're the league is moving forward. Still honoring Kobe Bryant, but moving forward. And I don't know if you got a glimpse of the game yesterday between the Miami Heat and the Philadelphia 76ers.
I sent you a link on the good old messenger from the Twitter about how physical of a game it was of DeMarcus Robinson not touching Joel Embiid at all, but Joel flopping like the fraud that he is.
This is, they defeated the 76ers by what, 31 points? I think that was it was. And okay, so I saw pretty much the entire second half of that game, along with, I was switching back and forth between them and the Florida Panthers. And the Miami Heat, there was a point in the game where they should have let up. they should have let up on the 76ers. There was no way that they were coming back. But that was a statement game, guys.
That was a bona fide ass whooping.
That was Eric Spoelstra did not pull any punches. He left Kelly Olynyk out there. He left Kendrick Nunn out there for the final minutes, and they were still jacking threes. Like, they let the 76ers know, because remember, there was all that talk, Sixers fans especially, talk. Miami Heat, oh, you guys want to get 20 to 30 wins. A lot of NBA experts, quote unquote, that said the Miami Heat were a 41-41 team all over again. They've got 34 victories right now. They've got 7 more to go. We're not even at the All-Star break. Jimmy Butler going off on his old team when he needed to. He didn't have to the last few times, but he needed to this time. And even then, it was freaking overkill later on. The 76ers are Joel Embiid, who is, yes, he's a big guy. He's got the size. He's not that athletic. There's ways to defeat him. And a bunch of guys that really, they're not good enough. They just are not good enough. They're just not good enough.
And they're injured. They signed an old, can I rephrase it? Al Horford to a $100+ million deal.
I forgot that Al Horford was on the 76ers last night. And I saw him like, wait, what is he doing there? I thought he was like in Sacramento teaching the youngins or something.
Well, they took our sloppy seconds of Josh Richardson, who just can't stay healthy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, talk about, and once again, the Heat win the season series, which is fantastic for a tiebreaker in the future. 3-1. That's a statement, guys. That first game with the Heat, that was just like them warming up, the team getting to know themselves. No, this is the real Miami Heat, and the Sixers are not even they're not even on the same playing field. They just aren't. They are a G League team compared to the Miami Heat.
Oh, strong words right there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
I mean,
they are in the middle of a 3-game losing streak that started with them losing to the Atlanta Hawks.
So let's talk about this. Let's dissect this. A year ago, around this time, a trade was made that sent Jimmy Butler to the Sixers on the belief that he was the missing piece. And what you had was a lack of cohesion between him, Ben Simmons, who can't shoot, Joel Embiid, who has a very shaky confidence game, then J.J. Redick, who's just wasting away in New Orleans, not doing anything. We should trade for him if we can. Tobias Harris, who is their best player. And then the genetic makeup of this team, led by Brett Brown, who seemed fine as a coach at that time, fast forward a year later, and their confidence is broken, battered, bewildered, and what scares me? They'll probably end up winning it all because they'll finish off as a 7 seed, and I hate it. But right now, they are a very dysfunctional team. Ben Simmons called them soft.
Oh, yeah.
Jimmy Butler Jimmy was coming in for that statement game.
Mm-hmm.
Because there was reports of not just Heat culture and Dwayne Wade recruiting, but it was a year of the contract that Philly didn't want to give him. Because I think, if you're chasing championships, you get the idea that, in theory, if you kept that strong 5 together and you paid Jimmy Butler, Jimmy was going to say, but I think he wanted the 4th year fully guaranteed, and they only want to go 3 years an option, if I remember things so correctly from a year ago. We know out there in the Sports Goofs universe, BU's about to comment on this thing, that Charles and Francisco really don't like Philly. And the reason why is because you talk about a process, trusting the process. We didn't sell out our fans to buy ghost titles. Miami Heat delivered the real process when they were stuck with true salary cap hell with Hassan Whiteside. We should call him Hogwash Whiteside because they ain't doing anything in Portland.
Damian Lillard is, but...
Yeah, well, Damian's like low-key MVP in it right now, but no one wants to give him love because we don't like to give things to Damian. We want to push in all these things, and They threw away their fan base on the prospect of the process. Just trust us. And what happened? You trade away all your first rounders. You had to sign free agents, and believe me, getting free agents such as Tobias Harris, Josh Richardson trading for him, touching on J.J. Redick and trading for him, you're getting these veterans. Is not the process of whom you draft. Because when you draft badly, poor Markelle Fultz, Michael Carter-Williams, everybody in between, and don't be surprised if they do trade Ben Simmons, because I feel like he'll come in 2 years, you're not really doing anything, and you're mortgaging everything. And they've had a lot of controversy. Didn't they have what's Colangelo's kid who just kind of said everybody's kind of soft like Charmin a few years back as controversy? And, Brett Brown's going to be the next one getting the axe. It's going to, off of his head kind of mentality.
Yeah.
So I'm enjoying that a real team who knows how to scout true players, because let me tell you something, aside from Tyler Hero and one of the other guys, the rest of the other guys are either second rounders or free agents that we took a wire on, because you have DeMarcus Robinson, or I can never say his name. There's too many Robinsons in this damn league, who is playing good minutes. You have Kendrick Nunn, who just kind of came out of nowhere. You have Tyler Hero, who, should be a respectable third or fourth on Rookie of the Year, because we both know John Morant is taking it. It's debatable on Zion. I think you look at the body of work, unless the Pelicans make the playoffs and push it out, but they won't because Alvin Gentry can't coach. John Morant is my undisputed, at the moment, MVP, or not MVP, but Rookie of the Year. But this team's going to spiral, and Philly going to Philly, and they're just going to fire Brett Brown, and it's going to blow up again, because they'll be left with a team of pieces of a puzzle, but each puzzle piece is for a different puzzle, because the game of Ben Simmons might mesh well with Joel Embiid, but doesn't mesh well with Tobias Harris, doesn't mesh well with an Al Horford. Al Horford was just the worst signing. You want to get a 33-year-old leader on the court? That's fine.
Yeah.
Everybody has that veteran out there, but $115, $125 million, $100 million, that's just cap space that you lose out on.
I mean, there's a reason the Boston Celtics didn't bring him back.
Yeah. And boy, they can kind of use him.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Go.
Is this a good enough segue?
Yeah, just pop in there. We all know that the 76ers are frauds, right?
Frauds. 70 frauders.
And we've been saying that for like several episodes. Every time we bring them up. The Flyers aren't doing so bad right now, but whatever.
So, segue. Alex Spear, who is and thanks to BU for bringing this up, he thinks that he gives credit to a college hockey Discord full of Red Sox fans. Sports writer Alex Spear from the Boston Globe. Rumor is that Mookie Betts and David Price are going to be traded to the Los Angeles Dodgers pending review of medicals.
Is this the baseball gods gifting the Los Angeles Dodgers for their the grievances, the Boston Red Sox sins?
It's entirely possible.
But is it?
What's the package in the return? We don't know, right?
We don't know yet.
Probably some prospects. I mean, getting Mookie would be a boon for everybody, but
Dodgers,
I don't know if he has a trash can to hear.
I mean, the Dodgers. What's going on?
Jeff Passan, who is an MLB insider.
Is it the real Jeff Passan and not a parody account?
Jeff Passan. He's got a check mark next to his name.
Is it a real check mark and not one of those symbols that kind of looks like a check mark?
It is a real check mark. And it's breaking news. The Los Angeles Dodgers have agreed to a deal with the Boston Red Sox that would send Mookie Betts and David Price to the Dodgers.
Whew. Whew. Boy, it's going to be nice in the AL East not having competition despite the Rays.
And Bleacher Report has already photoshopped Mookie Betts into a Dodgers uniform. So
I'm just put it up on the freaking Twitter right now. I just put it on the screen. Dear Lord. So Dodgers Yankees World Series, huh? Just what Major League Baseball has wanted for the last few years.
That would be amazing, because that would, speaking of rivalries that we've been discussing all night, it's been dormant for a while. But
that's true.
For those who don't know, the Los Angeles Dodgers used to be the Brooklyn Dodgers, and the Dodgers and the Yankees used to face off all the time in the World Series. Talk about a Subway Series.
Yeah, if this was the Battle of Alberta, the Yankees would be the Oilers and the Flames would be the Dodgers. But yes, as far as success,
But anyway, yeah, that's big news. Mookie Betts and David Price has not been the David Price of old recently.
David Price, he's gotten paid way too much for the performance that he's had. He's still a good pitcher.
He's a good pitcher.
Just not like freaking. I mean, people have overpaid for him. That's for sure.
He's old, man. He's 34 now.
Yeah, that is also true. He's been in the league for quite a while. I mean, he debuted on that 2008 Tampa Bay Rays squad. So yeah, he's been in the league for quite a while now. Wow. So, yeah, gosh, freaking. Okay, so we're 8 minutes left. So I think we need to go where we have to go. We all know where we have to go.
Mm-hmm.
We have to get inside that cage. Let's go.
All right. Welcome, everybody, to your weekly Trueplex, The Cage with Charles. Now, disclaimer, as Andrew said, he has his with Fulmer. I have mine with mine in the cage. Wrestling is not fake. It is scripted. It is a dance. It is poetry in motion. It is a ballet about men hating each other, about women hating each other, the chase for a championship, the love of a woman, the love of a man, the pure badassery of beating each other up. And right now, you guys, we got two things on the horizon. We talked about last show. We talked about now. WrestleMania season is always upon us. It's like knowing that you got to go to the bathroom because you had some bad sausage and you got to hold in, but it's coming in and out to get a little graphic in there. But there's a process. You got to take your Imodium. You have to suffer through. And right now we're in suffering through season because it's what I call finger pointing season, because every single person who won the Royal Rumble, Drew McIntyre and Charlotte Flair, they're pointing to the Tampa sign. And everybody else in between are trying to figure out everything else because the WWE still has 2 pay-per-views to fill out. In February, they got the Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia, which means we're going to get a lot of real matches that don't matter, but one of them will matter out of nowhere. And then we're also going to get a lot of returning vets because the people over in Saudi Arabia love the old timers, they love veterans. The last time they had their own little pay-per-view there, which was, I think, October, which was not Crown Jewel. It might have been one of those, but not only did you have The Fiend, but you had Team Hogan versus Team Flair. So nostalgia runs wild, just like the Super Bowl halftime show with Shakira and J-Lo. And then we have Elimination Chamber. So as we're trying to go through WrestleMania season, we have some guarantees. We know Drew McIntyre is going to be facing against Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, allegedly. Why do we say allegedly? Because there's still 2 pay-per-views that come out. So on Monday Night Raw, last night there was a triple threat match to see who the number 1 contender of that title was going to be. Not for the Universal. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of the old brand for the WWE Championship because Bray Wyatt now holds the Universal Championship on SmackDown. So Ricochet, Seth Rollins, and the immortal, the almighty Bobby Lashley, who was in that Rusev storyline smut drama that I love so much, was in it, competing. At the end of the day, Ricochet, Mr. Tiny, the one and only King Ricochet, won that out. So he'll be facing against Brock Lesnar. And here's the thing, I'm kind of excited for it because Ricochet himself is not the most physically imposing man, but he is uber athletic, if I can say as that. And he is a crowd pleaser with the moves that he does. Very aerial assault, high speed, athleticism coming in against Brock Lesnar's big, mighty monster that we have. But Brock typically works better with small guys. There's something about it of a natural David and Goliath story. So I think it was a good choice coming in. The rest of the card's trying to fill itself out because they want to focus on the Super Showdown. There's been some rumors. They're saying Goldberg is coming back. And I don't know who wants to get a concussion from that man, but it was kind of like watching a giraffe die slowly when he went against The Undertaker in the last showdown last year. And I just fear for the next person who's going to have their neck busted. There was a lot of botches in that match. However, he did have his little squash match with Dolph Ziggler. If they want to be creative, they can use that real-life beat that he's got going on with Matt Riddle, who's been kind of running his mouth a little bit. Apparently, there was a verbal altercation between him and Brock Lesnar at the Royal Rumble, to which Brock Lesnar takes Matt Riddle and says, hey, you and I ain't ever effing working together, so get your stuff straight. And I'm keeping PG very nicely because Brock Lesnar ain't PG. Brock Lesnar's not even R-rated. I think he's like X-rated, but that's just me. And he's just telling him that, keep my name out of your mouth. So that being said, we're kind of figuring out who's doing what. The other move, which is odd, bad choice in my opinion, but Vince McMahon is always afraid of the almighty AEW, is that he's going to have Charlotte Flair, the person who won the Women's Royal Rumble this year, challenge, possibly, Rhea Ripley, NXT Women's Champion. Here's the thing about that. Charles don't like that. Charles not a big fan because you already have the equivalent of NXT WrestleMania with the NXT TakeOver that they're going to have on that weekend. NXT is still developmental, even though it's kind of like high developmental now. It's kind of like the major leagues and my own Clint Frazier, outfielder for the Yankees. Sometimes he plays some games in the big league, and sometimes he goes to the minor league because the roster's too strong. That's kind of how you should do NXT because WrestleMania is the showcase of the gods, and you don't want to get the minor leaguers in there. Yes, I understand that Charlotte has ran through everybody. And yes, I understand it's more of a move to get NXT and its ratings up, but let's be honest here. You're never going to really beat All Elite Wrestling on their Wednesday show Dynamite. Why? Because there's a split amount of demographics of fans who watch Dynamite, and there's a split fans that watch the NXT. I watch both, but not necessarily at the same time. I've been watching NXT because I think it has been a better product, because if you thought it's a slow race getting to the showcase of the Immortals for WrestleMania, imagine being a fan of AEW and then they only do like 5 pay-per-views a year. They got Revolution coming up. The highlight of their match is going to be Cody versus MJF, and that's been a long gestating story. And then Jon Moxley versus Chris Jericho for the AEW Championship. Get me invested more, please. But back to WWE. They're still kind of working out, but I think you're kind of wasting a precious WrestleMania spot. Because here's the thing you guys got to understand about WrestleMania. Damn, is it a long pay-per-view. It's like 6 hours, man. That's why I'm not going to go to Tampa, because as much as I love wrestling, and trust me, when I'm at work and I don't know what to do with my life, and I just fascinate of what happens if I had my nickname El Macho Muchacho as a wrestler, I still can't imagine 8 hours of full wrestling, and it's just an entire weekend because you have Friday Night SmackDown, you get the NXT pay-per-view, you get WrestleMania, and then you get the Raw after, which is just as good. It's kind of tough to go in there. I'd rather you fill the proper WrestleMania spot with a proper WrestleMania requirement, I guess. You can have Charlotte lose her spot at WrestleMania, let her get too cocky, let her, put it on the line, and then somebody else wins and they get a little swerve in there, a little challenge. Or you could just have her go against Ronda Rousey and stop acting like she's not coming around. But I think the plan that what they're trying to do is Becky Lynch versus Shayna Baszler, and then Bayley, I think they're going to have Sasha, but I think it's going to be a multi-women's match. We're figuring it out there. Switching gears here. Nothing really going on in the AEW world aside from what I guys told you. It's been going a little bit too slow for my liking. They crowned some new champions a couple weeks back for the tag team division. There's some rumors about more tag teams coming in, but right now they're kind of fighting for the leftovers from WWE because there's some releases that are coming in. So the big news is that once he is a free agent, Luke Harper, a.k.a. the new Brody Lee, because he went back to his Indies name, is going to be going to AEW, and I think that's a boon for them because their guys, as capable as wrestlers they sometimes don't pass the litmus test. You ask, what is the litmus test? The litmus test is looking like a guy who might be able to beat you down. Yeah, he could throw a punch, but is that a guy yet you want to avoid on the street? Their tallest guy or their biggest guy right now is Jack Swagger. Well, I think it's now Jake Hager, his real name. He's also an MMA fighter, so he could probably knock all my teeth out. And then Wardlow, who's very green, doesn't wrestle at this moment. You look at, now called Brody Lee, a.k.a. the former Luke Harper. He's got the crazy eyes. He's kind of crazy. I think he can kind of hurt me. I don't want to fight him. But right now they're waiting to poach out. They also want to get the Revival, an excellent tag team, bland characters, but an excellent tag team from WWE, because let's talk politics here in wrestling. Vince McMahon doesn't want to do any kind of favor to his opponent. So he's tacking on any additional 6 to 10 weeks to anybody who has been injured onto their contract. So not only do you get the 90-day on-compete, but you also have to finish out the additional time of your contract obligation for when you're injured. It's dirty politics. It also tells people that, hey, maybe he considers AEW to be a real threat, or maybe he just doesn't want to give them an opportunity. But I want to do something a little bit different, you guys, because I won't talk about New Japan. I won't talk about Ring of Honor. I feel like we have our Learn Goof segments, and I do a little bit of Learn Goof on wrestling every now and then when I talk about terminology. But I'm going to give you guys a spotlight. Okay. A spotlight in my little cage because it's WrestleMania season. And I feel like this is, if we're talking Pokemon or we're talking baseball trading cards, I'm going to pick out a card and tell you why this is the best card that you need to buy into or why you don't understand the stats. And for me, I'm going to go with a relatively simple one. No, I'm not going Brock Lesnar, even though we all know he can kill you. I'm going to go with the men's Royal Rumble winner, Drew McIntyre. A little background about Drew McIntyre. He is this year's Royal Rumble winner. He has never challenged for any of the main titles. He was also the concept of the prodigal son returns. He was in wrestling for the WWE about 6-7 years ago. I think actually 11 years ago. He was dubbed to be, the next big thing basically from Vince McMahon. Held a singles title called the Intercontinental Championship. One of those prestigious titles that the great Ric Flair, I believe, made famous. Granted, it was really Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, Bret Hart, Honky Tonk Man. We'll talk about titles on a different day. It doesn't kind of work out for him because such is wrestling, right? If you lose Vince's attention, because Vince is the carny, Vince is the circus leader, the ringleader of the circus, Vince is just a baby boy who, if he's not into you, he's going to start wailing or he's going to ignore you, right? He's basically my cat. Drew got the love, and then the storylines kind of fell in between. He joined three-man band with Jinder Mahal, who became a WWE champion in 2017, and then Heath Slater, who's had a couple of tag team champions, and then he was released. So what happens when you get released from the WWE? Well, hey, it's always keep my line open, but I'm going to go taste a little bit of the other flavors that Baskin-Robbins has available. He went around, he went to TNA, he's from Scotland, so I think he did a couple of wrestling promotions. He changed his look, he changed his muscle. He got more physical. He did DDP yoga. I've done it once. It's okay. Came back to NXT, won the NXT championship, got injured, and then came back. And he hasn't really done much, but now he's doing something. He always kind of has a look. You look at him, you're like, all right, the Scottish Terminator, the Scottish psychopath. Now he's calling himself the sexy Scotsman. So you're adding a little flavor to him. What is he noticeable for? Besides being freaking huge, he's got a mean finisher. His finisher's the Claymore. So imagine a guy who's probably like 6'5", 275 pounds, running at you and doing a single high drop kick to your face. It's a good sell. It's a good finishing move. And here's the thing. When I think about what's going to make me knock out for 3 seconds, you need to give me a strong finisher. When I think about the guy who's going to knock out Brock Lesnar cold and, basically pass the torch or, put him over, I think about what's a good finisher. And I got to say the Claymore is out there. I'm happy for Drew. I kind of wish him the best of luck, but in my head, I know it's Vince McMahon's doing this, so he's going to F it up soon enough. But it's a little bit different blood. I've kind of been waiting for a while. I want to see who his in-between rival is going to be between now and Mania, because there's always that one crap heel. I think it's going to be Bobby Lashley. His face turn isn't complete yet, but it's a coming, and I think there'll be plenty of time to get you there. My biggest concern with him is that Vince is going to lose interest. Why? Because he's Scottish and he has what? An accent. And Vince McMahon, he likes to basically think that the television people only care if you look right and sound right. But we'll see. But, keep an eye on Drew. He's going to be the guy, presumably, to defeat Brock Lesnar and take that WWE Championship from him. But I've seen it change, too, because Roman was supposed to do a couple years at Mania, and then Brock beat the holy hell out of him after kicking out like 5 spears. But I think that's what I got for you today, you guys.
Okie dokie. I learned a thing about a Scottishman.
Scotsman.
A Scotsman. Okay, thank you for correcting me.
You're very welcome.
Yeah, okay. So, I guess that's it for today's show. And outside of a bit of a snafu with my connection for a bit, we've got through some choppy waters, and we're here at the end, folks. So, thanks for joining us, and I don't know what else to say. Take your Imodium AD.
And go to Costco for some hot dogs or glasses.
And you can get probably wild turkey with your Imodium AD at Costco.
Wild turkey and Imodium would be. Consult your doctor if Imodium and wild turkey is right for you.